your fault that you can't see what we see. This is How to Watch TV on Comeuppence Network. This is How to Watch TV on Comeuppence Network. This is How to Watch TV.
Welcome to How to Watch TV. My name is Joel Henderson. With me, as always, Jeremy Vasitis. Is he putting his phone on vibrate? Is that what's going on?
No, I was putting my phone on vibrate and also pulling up the new read.
Oh, look at this guy. Okay, so let me try that again. Welcome to How to Watch... shit. This is How to Watch TV. Damn it, I forgot that. You threw me off my whole game. It goes blip right now. Welcome to... damn it. This is How to Watch TV. My name is Joel Henderson. With me, as always, Jeremy Vasitis.
How to Watch TV is brought to you by Comeuppence Network. To check out our pre-show sessions on Tuesdays and full episodes on Wednesdays, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to iTunes if you believe we only have faces for radio. All social media links are on thishishowtowatchtv.com. If you'd like to email questions or comments, thishishowtowatchtv@gmail.com.
Correct.
So, this week in TV.
Fox announced the X-Files will return on January 24th, 2016 at 10 p.m. And much like Better Call Saul, they're premiering on Sunday, but will be on Monday after that. They're doing a Sunday, then a Monday.
We're bringing back Mulder. Isn't this going to be a miniseries? I thought you had mentioned it was going to be a miniseries,
Correct.
Not a full thing. So, but it is Mulder and Scully and everybody back.
It is Mulder and Scully, and it is supposed to wrap up stuff from the original show, or at least tie into stuff that was existing, so that it feels like it gives people more closure. Although, I don't see why it couldn't continue.
Have you seen the whole X-Files? You watched it all?
It's been a very, very long time since I watched X-Files.
I used to watch it somewhat.
It was very good. I remember it being awesome.
I remember it kind of being creepy and very interesting at the same time. But
it was one of the first shows that grabbed me like the way that it needed to set me up for Lost. You know what I mean by that? Like it set me up to like love this complex mythology, and that's still one of the best things about a show for me is the complex mythology. That's I want to feel like they have something interwoven that I couldn't figure out. You know, that I couldn't pick apart necessarily. And the X-Files felt like one of those shows with the smoking man and like all the conspiracy stuff.
And the alien stuff, and I don't know, man. I guess I don't remember enough of it to be able to have like a really in-depth conversation.
Yeah,
I will watch the new miniseries.
This goes along the lines, though, of what we were talking about last week, where I feel like mini runs of shows, limited runs, are better for everybody. I mean, look at the genius television we got last year in True Detective, and are going to get again this year, but with different people. It's going to be.
Colin Farrell, Rose McGowan. Not Rose McGowan now. What's her name?
Colin Farrell. It's going to be Vince Vaughn.
Right.
And I don't know the woman's name.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but look at the runs we're getting from big actors. You know, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson last year. Now we're going to get Mulder and Scully again on TV. Like, it feels like this could be something that they would want to do every year, maybe, or every 2 years.
Well, for what?
For X-Files.
Well, yeah.
I don't feel like this is going to wrap it up.
They just did one for 24 too. Did you watch that one?
I did. Yeah, they did a 13 episode.
It was 13 episodes.
Yeah, for 24.
They did like a whole season basically.
Like half a season. The show used to be 24 because there was 24 episodes and 24 hours in the day. And you saw every hour of the day.
Oh, okay.
This one like would skip an hour occasionally, so it only showed you 13 hours of the, or maybe it was 12. I think that would make more sense if it was 12. But I like the idea that show could then go away for a few years, and then they could bring Jack Bauer back and
just do another
fucking miniseries. But I think that's what they're setting up for with this
X-Files. To be able to do it more than once.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to completely bookend the show. They're not going to tie it up in a neat little bow at the end of these 6 episodes. It's going to leave people salivating for more.
Or a lot of people
they did 2
dissatisfied
movies.
with the end of it?
I don't know that they were dissatisfied with the 2 movies. I think left a bad taste in people's mouths. I don't think that everybody loved the movies.
Okay.
I think at least one of them was universally
I'm not real
panned.
versed. I don't know if that really makes a dent in my how to watch TV knowledge career, but I'm not real versed on X-Files. So
I'm not either, but I wanted. We have until January to get caught up.
Of what, like 10 seasons?
Yeah, I guess that's too many.
Where is it all on? Like,
I think it is absolutely on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we could start watching some of it, you know?
Yeah.
Just go through and watch the season finales.
Yeah, right. Well, there's an episode or two in season 1 with, like, Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul.
Really?
Yeah, Giovanni Ribisi, I remember, is in one of my favorite episodes of that show.
Okay.
They, like, went to an arcade, and he was able to strike lightning. He was able to strike people with lightning or something. I don't remember.
Really?
Or something like that. It was in the real case of the week
See,
era.
a lot of that shit that we watched.
But my favorite stuff was the smoking man and that whole conspiracy, the government conspiracy story side of it. That was all. It's worth a watch. Check out X-Files. It's coming back. Another thing that I found out about, and this is going to be such a weird shift in tone. Did you know that Big Bird was originally going to be on the Challenger space shuttle? The actor who plays Big Bird and the costume. Like,
why?
He was going to go in costume to record videos for, like, children.
On the moon.
In space. I don't know if Challenger was going to the moon or if it was just orbiting. I can't remember. But the Challenger that fucking exploded, the one that everybody died in.
He didn't make it on?
He didn't go on due to space restrictions. The rooms were too small for him to bring the costume and to do what they were hoping to do with it. And somebody just shit-canned it at the last minute. Like a month before. And then he watched it. And, you know, beyond the original thought, the selfish thought of, I was supposed to be on there. It was just, oh, God, those poor people. Like, they're all dead now.
Wow. No, that's an interesting TV-related thing there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's an old guy, yeah. Big Bird, that plays Big Bird, and he could just go into the Big Bird voice. It was really strange to see the guy just sitting there being interviewed.
Wow. Where did you find that at?
Internet.
Okay.
I don't know, probably Reddit or something.
Reddit. Okay.
I think it was a Today I Learned, which is one of my favorite ones on there. Today I Learned, and it just gives you like a little thing. Today I Learned Big Bird was originally going to be on the Challenger shuttle, and then you click it to find out more info.
I'll have to start checking some of that stuff
out. It's interesting. It very streamlines your reading. You know, like Amiibo stuff for video games, and then, you know, you can get like a community subreddit or whatever and find all these things they have community subreddit, and then there's another subreddit under that's like for an episode where you could go and discuss an episode and hopefully gain some insight. I should be doing that for Game of Thrones. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, okay.
I just have a feeling the book assholes would be on there, and try to avoid that.
Because you get spoiled.
Well, you know how it's different than the book. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want.
Another new thing coming out is Sense8 on Netflix.
Netflix original series.
The trailer looks really fucking cool. There's a lot of shots.
Start a timer.
I did not start the timer, but we're about 10 minutes in. I'll start it there. Okay. It was narrated by Saeed, or Saeed from Lost seemed to be.
Yeah.
He seemed to be the one like informing people of stuff in the show.
Like we're going off a minute.
Yeah,
preview.
1.5 minute trailer.
Yeah, really cool stuff. I'm super interested.
There were so many shots. That's what struck me most. As this is a Netflix original.
8 different cities, 8 different characters, like or 8 different people. Like it looks really, really.
It hit all the buttons that I like.
Yeah, me too.
There's enough intrigue. There's enough. What the hell are they gonna do?
Finally, find a good thing for Saeed to do instead of being Jafar and fucking stupid ass.
That's lame. Actually, he should not be in any typecast roles. Although awful. I will say this, I didn't hate him when he was speaking, so he must have been doing the Saeed accent. Mm-hmm. Because that's not how he speaks in real life.
He speaks like an Aussie or something.
He speaks like a fucking dick. Like, I feel like I would hate him in real life. Like, the way he talks comes off as a real condescending prick. But I'm sure it's just his accent. I love you, Naveen Andrews. You were great and Lost. But I feel like if you hear him talk, he sounds like an asshole. It's just the accent. I'm sure it is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's.
But so I don't remember having that sensation when we were watching it.
Okay.
Sensation.
Right. Okay. That was lame.
But Sense8.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. Okay, so
I want to watch
all
that.
10 of that June 5th, right?
Yes, so here this brings us to a conundrum that we would like your input on.
All 10 episodes drop.
When a season drops on Netflix, when a show does this, here's all of them. We can't. He'll burn through it in a day or two, and then I'm like on episode 4. So like I feel like a decent number would be, if say it's a 13 episode season,
Right.
I say we should do half at a time. So if it were 13 episodes, we'd do 6 one week and then 7 the next.
So, but what if you decide that? What if we decide so that could never be our main show then?
What's that? A miniseries? Or something that's dropped like that? It depends, because I think a main show is something that people will want discussed week to week.
When that's not something,
and that's something that gets dumped all at once. So I think people would be cool listening to 2 hours talking about those versus, 10. I don't think they require the in-depth as a Game of Thrones or something.
I guess we'll have to see. This will be a good example to see how we.
But we're going to do it that. For this one. We're going to do 5 episodes. 5 episodes is our new benchmark for whether a show has sucked us in or not. I went with 5 and not 4 or 3 or 2 because it took me 5 episodes to get into The Wire, and that's heralded as one of the greatest shows of all time, and I highly recommend it. But that show took me 5 episodes. Game of Thrones took me 5 solid episodes. Even though there were times when I was like, "Ooh, this is awesome," it didn't sustain my attention until it got like 5 episodes in, and I started getting a grasp on who everybody was and what the show was really about. Because you cast all these, ideas onto stuff based on, I don't know, just preconceived notions of of other shows that they might be trying to emulate or might be in the same genre of.
And then you realize,
how is this like Rome? And then you're like, oh, it's not like Rome.
It's not like Rome, or it's not right.
Yeah, and I think I had to break out of that in The Wire, especially because that one is a show that is very, on the surface of it, slow, but what it's doing is putting all the pieces in place. It's setting up the chessboard. But you feel like it's slow, and then once stuff starts going, you're like, oh shit, okay. It does the best of like the way Lost used to do the little connections of things where you'd be like, oh shit, so that means in season 2, Hurley was eating the ranch sauce that he made in season 5? You know what I mean? Shit like that.
I see what you mean. There's a lot of that shit in Game of Thrones that goes by the wayside, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we stumbled across the John Starkarian theory.
Well, that was even just a theory, but I'm talking about just some of the connections, like Marin Trout being sent to Bravos now.
Yeah, with Arya being there.
Arya being there and him being the last name on her list. Like, I think that's not something a lot of people are going to pick up on. That's why you watch How to Watch TV.
Yeah, I mean,
so we can inform you of these things.
Hopefully, yeah. And I mean, if the theory is by somebody, I will happily give credit to somebody. We're not here to steal credit for theories; just discuss them.
We're just talking.
I'm not claiming to be some insight, but it is interesting to discuss.
We maybe can inform you of some insight of someone else's that you might not have known about.
Correct, because we didn't know about it.
Because we didn't know about it, and we discovered it via.
Got all excited.
Right. I'll tell you, that one excited me last week. So.
Speaking of the 100, as you learned to call it after 1 or 2 episodes, I think. My wife still calls it the 100. Your wife today said, "Yeah, I'm at season 2, episode 5 of the 100."
100.
I know. I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, seriously? Okay, fine. I'll let it go.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
We're nerds, so I mean, that's just minutia bothers us.
I don't know if we should do a whole thing about it, and because again, this falls into the discussion of etiquette of how we watch shows, because Jeremy burned through these while I was still in season 1, episode 4. You were done with the show. You're like, I'm caught up. I'm like, fuck. So we can't have a discussion now about specific things because I don't want to read his face and see and be able to go, oh, well, he recoiled on that, so that means this. So that's why we had to have the discussion about etiquette. But I feel the need to put this out there, and I haven't read about it because I'm still not caught up with the show, so I don't want to get spoiled on anything. But I feel like there are lots of parallels between this show and my favorite show, being Lost. There was, as if I haven't mentioned it 70 times already. You're probably already sick of it.
Lost.
Yeah, I already said it like 3 times. Yeah.
Right.
So
no, we get it. Okay.
So the season 1 was seemingly about survival.
Okay.
Of both shows.
Right. Surviving against these grounders and the people that they had no idea.
Well, not even that. Surviving the radiation, even. Like, how are they going to get the people from space? How are they going to survive because they're running out of air?
Right.
Are the people going to survive when they go down on the Earth?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then we get introduced to others.
Or the grounders.
Or the grounders in this show.
Others.
We get introduced to, there were people there before.
Right. There were people already on the island.
Yes. You have a couple characters that fit the mold of some Lost characters. You have a Finn who I thought this was going to go to Murphy originally. I thought Murphy was going to be the Sawyer of this show, where he started off as a completely hateable asshole, and then over time he became sympathetic and you started realizing why he was doing what he was doing.
Right.
But that ended up being Finn by season 2. In season 1, it was definitely, I was leaning towards it being Murphy, but the Sawyer award fell to Finn when he got the Sawyer hair prior to, spoiler alert, him dying.
Right.
You know, he became the Sawyer. He became, but sort of the opposite way. Well, so maybe he's not that then. I was just thinking he looked so much like him, and then
he just kind of looked like him.
He evolved into the bad guy, whereas Sawyer evolved from the bad guy.
Right.
So Murphy still has that position. So anyways, Murphy as a Sawyer. You got your Jack, who, well, this is an interesting one.
Bounty, or you're going to compare Jack to Clark?
No, neither. What I'm going to do is say that the original idea for Lost was that Jack was going to die, and that Kate was going to lead.
Okay.
Clark is what we could have seen in Lost if Jack had died. We could have seen Kate as this strong character.
Okay.
You know, that's another parallel to Lost. Season 2 explored an underground narrative that expanded the world a little bit bigger.
You meaning the hatches?
I mean the hatches and the mountain stuff. I'm saying that's how it compares to the 100. In season 2 of the 100, that you go underground at the mountain and you start expanding. Oh shit! These people. You start learning more about it. These people can't go outside because all the people that are surviving on the ground and that were sky people, all of them were exposed to radiation, whether it was solar radiation or just regular radiation, and their gene pool survived it originally and was able to pass on its genetic material, aka it evolved into people outside that are only people that can survive outside. And theirs was they were filtering something out.
Breathing and surviving the outside air.
But now we get the Mount Weather people who can't do that, and like immediately I'm thinking, oh, what they're setting up here is like, oh, there's this utopia, which you knew it was going to be not going to be good. If you've watched any show, you know it's not going to be the paradise it appears to be. And then
never is.
Going from that to finding out that, oh, they're going to fall in love with people, and then you're going to almost forget that they can't leave. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to want them to leave together, and they're not going to be able to. And so that's going to cause a whole nother layer of drama. I don't know. It's got all of my favorite elements of Lost. Maybe not all of them, but it's got a lot of elements to this show that remind me of Lost, and therefore make me enjoy the show.
The 100 is very, very good. For being a CW show.
That's the caveat. It's on CW, but they somehow managed to still make it good.
It is. It's very, very good. I think the reason it's on the CW is because it's about a younger set of people.
Okay, I could see that.
More teenage group of people, which the CW shows tend to be about groups of teenagers.
Now, you thought that the idea of the others, or the grounders in this case, being, you know, like, what were you saying, how they were dressed?
They were just like Mad Max, like Road Warrior, if you've ever seen, like, the old
I haven't seen
Road
those.
Warrior. Have you seen any previews from Mad Max Fury Road?
I haven't. I've seen that they're out there, but I haven't watched them.
It's not something that interests you, right?
It's not really, no.
Okay, see, that's why I saw the way they're dressed, and I would think that that's not your thing.
Yeah,
that's why I mentioned that to you, that I just like, I don't know if you're going to like it. I really didn't.
The way I compare that is that it's just different outfits.
When they came out with the Mountain Men, like the season 2 switch over, when they start, because I said that prior to me being into season 2.
What's that?
I told you that I didn't think you would like it.
Yes.
That was me prior to me watching season 2.
Okay, so
as soon as they hit season 2, the Mountain Men weren't, because when they kept saying Mountain Men, I'm like, okay, it's going to be another group of like.
You thought that too?
Well, I thought there's going to be the Grounders, the Reapers, and then the Mountain Men, which are going to be another group of like.
And then like the desert people.
Mad Max, and then the desert people. Well, like.
Or whatever
so
it is,
I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know if he's going to like these different groups of fucking savage people.
Yeah.
But then the Mountain Men come down at the end of season 1. And they throw the gas grenades, and they come in and they're wearing masks and got guns and shit. You're like, okay, whoa, what the fuck? Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
These are the mountain men?
Yeah, see, I didn't put together that they were going to be in the
Anya said it.
mountain.
As soon as those grenades hit the ground, the red smoke grenades,
Yeah.
she said the mountain men. And then they all passed out.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up in the fucking secure facility. I was like, okay, no, yeah, Joel will like this.
Yeah.
He's going to like this part.
That was very Persons Unknown.
I liked it. I liked where they came,
Like,
from with the mountain men being completely different.
It's really good. I mean, it keeps opening, and I talked to somebody on Twitter, Joe Garfine, I believe that's how you say her name, and she's at Joe Opinionated. She talks about shows like this, and I mentioned that I really was enjoying all the Lost connections, and I told her where I was at in the show, and she said the best is yet to come, and I said, well, let's not get my expectations up too high. I want to keep it, I don't like it when somebody goes, this is the best episode ever, and then you haven't watched it yet, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, well, that was okay. I mean, you almost don't want it to be the best episode ever just because somebody so excitedly told you.
To be fair, you did that to me.
On what?
On one of the episodes for Breaking Bad.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ozymandias? Yeah.
You were like, it was the best episode.
Yeah, sorry
and I
about
watched
that.
it, and it just totally blew past me. We went right through it. And
Yeah.
didn't give it a second thought.
Yeah, my bad. I think it was around that time I realized that. Okay, so watch The 100. We'll be able to finish talking about it at probably next week. At least if there's anything to discuss going into season 2.
I'll watch the last couple episodes or something like that, so I can be up there with you. But
it's definitely on the list. That will be a week-to-week show when it is on week-to-week.
Oh, when it comes back, yes. We'll be discussing it in more detail.
It's one of my new favorite shows.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we are going to talk about what we remember. And what do we remember of this week's shows?
I remember you being very close to being totally right about Last Man on Earth. About being Phil should leave those people
that's
behind.
Just what I wanted, dude.
Even you just wanting that, but you brought it up more than once about that's what you think should happen. It'd be really cool as if he left these people behind. And lo and behold, the person that he didn't like. Oh, and the fact that you kept bitching about, not bitching, but complaining about how they just changed her character, Carol's character, completely around from being this uptight.
Well, delusion. I mean, no.
Uptight to the point of pull your hair out.
Had a blind spot about. She was not self-aware. It was like she didn't realize that she was being irritating to Phil, which pissed me off when she started acting the way, if you're trying to be desirable, there's a certain way that you act, and she started doing that for new Phil.
Right.
And it was like, wait a minute, before she didn't have the capacity.
But she even started doing that before new Phil came along. As soon as they split up, as soon as she found out that the other two women were around, and that he was lying to them about her.
So she was, you know what? Okay,
she became self-aware at that point. But listen. But then they actually he says it. He says why can't you? Why were you such a pain in the ass? Basically, he's talking to one of his balls or whatever, one of his friends, from Castaway, and he's like, why was she like this then, and now she's so cool now, and she wants to dress hot.
The fact that he
addressed it like your complaint, and I was like, oh.
I think I just figured it out, and I really like it.
Go ahead.
That was her version. Now think about it. She had at least the same amount of time that that Phil Miller had, roaming by herself.
Right.
Maybe that was her being Phil. Bearded Phil.
Okay, if you want to compare it to that, being so annoying and stuff, it was her being Bearded Phil.
Yeah.
And growing as a character.
And now she's evolving and realizing, in order to be around people, just like he's learning now.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it in that regard.
Me too. So then maybe they're going to go together.
Well, they are going to go together now.
And meet a whole new...
or just start a new life
adventure.
And whatever. They're going to have to meet more people because now they're on the same team.
Do you think they're just going to ditch the rest of that cast?
I would be happy with that.
I'd be okay with it too. Is that weird to say?
I mean, obviously the new Phil Miller was intended to be irritating, but I just felt like it... I don't know. Yeah, because it shit on our hero. Our hero's Phil Miller, the original Phil Miller, not fucking Tandy.
Not Tandy.
Yeah, Phil Miller is his goddamn name. And of course, right. But that's to get us on his side. I get that. I get being manipulated by the show.
Me too.
But I also like the idea that they had said when they started the show, we have a multi-season plan for where this could go.
So yeah, who knows? I think we'll probably get a whole new cast next season. Maybe. Besides centered around Phil and Carol.
Maybe we get them and then we come back in like season 3 and the two groups meet. You know, maybe there's some sort of a run-in.
Decides to go back to Tucson or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I bet you this can be this could be. I like that it's only 13 episodes. This show is. I like the way it's playing with the premise. It's been very good so far. There was a couple that I wasn't sold on. Like I said, I was really irritated by Carol, but she's even growing on me, especially upon the revelation that maybe she was just in her. Fuck everything. This is my world. I'm going to live it the way I want to.
I'm going to stop at all the stop signs and be a complete bitch.
This is my giving up. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to season 2 of that.
Well, you asked me what I learned. What did you learn? Or what did you find out?
What I remembered?
What did you remember?
I remember. I don't remember.
I will remember the name of the segment next time.
I don't remember the actual... the way that they grifted the grifting professor on Community, but I remember that he got grifted
in the end.
And I remember there were many. It was a great episode. They're getting back to what made that show awesome, which is just kind of doing these absurd adventures within the context of reality still.
Okay, so here's what I gotta admit that I'll admit it in the pre-show if you watch the pre-show session that I completely blanked parts of Community out while I was watching it.
Yeah.
But I remember in the beginning being really excited about her being like, oh, so are we all going to learn to be grifters together?
Yeah.
You know, Annie, that's how she used to try to get everybody to take the same class and make their study group to stay together. Like, that was a reminder of a lot of the old communities when they would, like, switch seasons or they'd have to switch classes. Like when Betty White was like, that's still one of the funniest parts to me. When Betty White shoots
the dart in the neck.
Yeah. You know, he's just
yeah. I mean, didn't she shoot him right in the star, or was it the neck?
No, he hit him in the neck. She shot him right in the neck with a dart.
Because he was
doing like a blowgun, like, and he was talking shit, and she was like,
you know. So you mentioned Annie. Something for if you don't listen to the Harmontown podcast, there was a fan on there who can't walk, and he called her up on the stage. And Dan Harmon, the creator of Community, and he was talking to her, and she does a Tumblr blog that like follows Annie's wardrobe. Like, it's one of those super obsessive things, you know, but like she's always been following Annie's wardrobe, and Annie always wore a certain type of top and like a skirt or something, you know.
Right.
Like the Annie look, you know, the cardigan sweater, that whole thing. So Dan Harmon in this season tried to make Annie grow up a little bit and changed her outfit. So, but he promised her, the lady that came to the show, that she could pick out Annie's outfit for the finale because it hadn't filmed yet.
Oh, cool.
So it was supposed to be like a purple cardigan with blah blah blah. So she'll be looking like old Annie.
In the one episode.
Yeah, in the finale. Just thought that was a neat little.
So which is coming up, right?
This was episode 9 was the grifting one, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a British comedian. I honestly I can't remember his name. Matt something. I don't know why I can't think of it. It's a shame. I should know that.
Okay.
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
What was Matt? What was the comedian saying? The British comedian saying?
No, he was the guy. He was the grifting professor.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but how many episodes are left? How many episodes are left for Community?
There are 4 more episodes.
So they're doing 13 episodes.
There's, okay. Or wait, no, there's, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 4 more episodes.
4 more episodes left. Okay.
Yes.
Which, yes, this season of Community has been a really fun ride.
I can't remember who the guy is in the newest episode. It should say the guest stars. No, it doesn't. Nothing. You let me down. TVRage.com, apparently. Letting me down. Silicon Valley. Gavin continues to cause trouble for Pied Piper. Guilfoyle works on building servers. Jared becomes Richard's roommate.
Well, they were going to run out of offices.
Yes,
and then they decided to do the servers instead.
Because Gavin shut down all their competition. Or basically, he shut down he blacklisted them within the server community, so they couldn't get servers, so they had to do their own hosting, which made them stay there. And then Richard was worrying about night sweats, which the doctor at the beginning needlessly told him that, if your stress gets any worse, you're going to start peeing the bed.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not doing that now? Like, he just kept insinuating. That guy is from Eastbound and Down. He played the principal on that show.
The best was when Jared asked him, when Jared woke him up and he was all sweaty. It's just sweat. It's just sweat. And he's like, did you sweat through your urethra?
Are you sure you didn't sweat through your urethra? Yeah. But, like, he clearly wasn't wet there. It was just armpit and neck.
But yeah.
I sweated through my urethra onto my collar and then under my armpits. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's funny, though. It was awesome. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the episode. It was another good one.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything else, really.
The old guy in the wheelchair, the neighbor.
Okay, the old guy. He was pretty
funny. Coming over. And, like, the way he had to go all the way around the driveway. And
they're like, just say it. Is it this?
Come on. And they're trying to guess it.
But they guessed it, and then he comes up and says it anyways.
Right.
I'm going to report. Are you going to report us?
Are you going to report us?
I'm going to report you. Okay, you didn't have to.
And he catches his ass with the ferrets out in the back. I mean, this show is definitely one of my favorite sitcoms right now.
Yeah.
It's right up there with Community and Parks and Recreation for me. It's not just a side show for me. I love Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. I rewatch it. I watch it over and over again.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure that it would hold up to rewatching, but maybe you'd see other stuff.
It does hold up to rewatching. I've rewatched the first season a couple of times, and it's really, really funny.
That guy was better as their... I can't remember
Peter
the guy's
Gregory.
name. Peter Gregory.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a damn shame that guy died.
It's a shame he passed away, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on Silicon Valley or any of the peripheral shows, really. Now you want to just throw it to commercial and then go to Game of Thrones?
I mean, if we cut it short, we can get a little bit of extra time. We'll probably have a little bit of extra time for Game of Thrones.
Do you have anything else, anything TV related that you want to discuss?
I mean, I started an old show called Burn Notice.
Okay.
I mean, I know you watch Burn Notice. It's very
if you're a TV viewer and you're looking for a new show to watch, Burn Notice might be that show.
It's decent. It's fun. It's kind of a fun show.
It's kind of fluff, but at the same time, when I popped in for an episode, I wanted to see how it played out. Because like they tell you their plan to enact it, and you're like, I want to see it. I want to see it go.
It's the same.
I had a hard time leaving.
Watching Leverage.
See, that was not one that I ever watched.
And see, that's the same kind of thing. Is they have these elaborate cons and
okay.
And
I think I downloaded Leverage once, but never got around to watching it.
Leverage is all on Netflix. You can check it out.
Okay.
Leverage is pretty good. I like that. I like the characters in Leverage.
Oh, there's so many things that need to be watched. You're on a lull right now, you were saying recently. You needed something to watch. So, homework. If you have not watched these things, watch these things. The Ricky Gervais trilogy of TV shows. The Office, the original UK version. Extras, which... It's very jarring going between those two shows. I didn't know why I liked Ricky Gervais when I started watching Extras. Like, I thought I loved the David Brent character only, but, like, it turns out that I really like Ricky Gervais's personality, too, and once I figured out that it wasn't the same kind of show, that he was playing a totally different part, and I don't mean just in name, like, he was playing a different entire thing,
right.
A different role in the show than the guy that was kind of awkward. You know, it's really good. In that show, they took advantage of their Hollywood notoriety. They were hot at the moment, so they got a guest celebrity for every episode. It's like episode 1 is Ben Stiller.
See, I remember watching episode 1 of Extras, but I remember that, yeah.
But seriously, it's worth a watch.
It.
Yeah, watch through that, or The Office, Extras, and then the newest one is Derek. They all do 6-episode seasons, so they'll do 2 seasons, and then they'll do a finale special.
Seasons of Extras?
Yes.
Okay. 12 episodes.
12 episodes, and then for The Office and Extras, they did both a Christmas special. So it was an hour and a half Christmas special.
Okay.
For Derek, he did 2 6-episode series and a 1 hour
Christmas special?
Well, 1 hour finale.
Finale, okay.
Special, whatever you want to call it. It was the Derek special again. He just does if it works, don't break why change it?
Right.
Too serious. It leaves people wanting more. and it's just dense enough that you're like, damn, this holds up to repeat viewing. And it's good stuff. The Wire needs to go on the list. I want to rewatch that now that they've put it out recently on HBO in 1080p. Or
on HBO Go?
In Blu-ray quality now. Yeah, it was always a 4:3 show.
Oh.
So, like, it's never been seen widescreen. And
so
Big Al and I just watched through it last year.
You did?
Yes.
But 4:3?
But yes, in 4:3.
Oh, shit.
In stretched 4:3, which was so
that's
annoying.
Awful. Yeah, that's terrible.
It's such a great show.
So, and they released it so it looks like that?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was stuff that we've never seen before on the sides of the screen. They remastered it from scratch.
Nice.
Like, they had to add stuff to make it widescreen.
Okay.
They must have gone back to the original
I can't honestly say that if I would have watched it, if I would have had to watch it like that.
Yeah, you probably well, and it wasn't HD.
Yeah.
It was just like
DVD quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It was
meh.
Nah.
Yeah. Not good with that.
Watch The Wire.
Okay.
Wire. Other than that,
on HBO Go.
Also,
1080p.
another thing you need to watch, Blinkered. Check this out.
You know what? I'm over it. It's complicated. I like it. It's a perfect word for it. If you're good, I'm good.
Oh, right. We're almost to my car, so I'm great.
Oh. That's great. How's that coffee? Probably tastes a little weird with fucking after dick taste in your mouth.
Welcome back to How to Watch TV. We are brought to you by Comeuppence Network. You check out our pre-show sessions on Tuesdays and full episodes on Wednesdays. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes for audio only if you think we have radio faces.
Specifically him.
All of our, yeah, really. I mean, he's got the cool beard. Can't. But anyway, all social media links are available on thisishowtowatchtv.com. If you'd like to email us questions or comments, thisishowtowatchtv@gmail.com.
Now we are on to the important stuff. Fuck all that.
All the stuff before that?
All the important, links that you need to find us. Yeah, all those things. Not as important as Game of Thrones. 505, kill the boy. Now, it sounds like that, just then saying it like that made me think of that being a Lost reference. We're going to need the boy.
Get off Lost.
I can't help it. It's kill the boy. The way I just accidentally said that reminded me of we're gonna need the boy.
We're gonna need the boy.
Okay, something that I didn't hit last week, or it may have even been the week before, but they reiterated in this episode was the North remembers.
Yeah.
And that struck me as such a heart-wrenching moment for Sansa when they said that in her first day back in Winterfell.
Yeah,
was what it was. Just it made me tear up both times I watched it, or it made me well up. I didn't actually drop a tear, but yeah. I think it would take a little bit of effort, but maybe a who died tally. At the end of at the end of an episode. I mean, like a who all ate it in this episode.
Did a bunch of people eat it in this episode?
No, but I mean, the rest in peace would have been Sir Barristan.
Yeah, rest in peace, Sir Barristan. Okay.
We hit King's Landing, Winterfell, the Wall.
When did we
in the opening? In the opening, I mean.
Oh,
the opening
gotcha.
credits.
Right.
I've taken to listing that.
Okay.
King's Landing, Winterfell, the Wall, Bravos, and this is the first time that I feel like I get where Bravos is in relation to stuff. Like I never really got it before.
Okay.
Like, I didn't see the transition from the Wall where it just turns straight back down and then goes down and it's just there on the right of the river or whatever.
Right.
Like, I never got where it was, and now I'm finally piecing it all together.
Through the narrow sea. Right?
Yes. Now, another thing that I looked up was the sword being broken, and there doesn't seem to be an answer for that. It seems to be just a mystery. Fuck, I can't say the other thing I wrote down, because the idea being that that's not its original form. So what we're seeing is, like, maybe they didn't think through the engineering, for example, and, like, there was nothing to support that and it broke off. Something along those lines.
Okay.
And they were talking about that being that some of the stuff, maybe it wasn't Valyrian steel. You know what I mean? Maybe that was all part of it. That wasn't strong enough. I don't know, but it reminded me of the four-toed, the foot.
Right.
Whereas that wasn't the entirety of the statue.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In that regard, like, are we seeing after a war, you know, and the blade is somewhere in the water?
Could be.
Or is this the intended statue all along?
With a broken sword.
Because the last time Arya saw Sergio from Braavos, he had a broken sword. I just thought that was a neat little connection there.
Sirio,
whatever his name is. Yeah, it autocorrects and I read.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Whatever his name was. The last time we saw him was when he had a broken sword, much like the one from Braavos, like the guy.
Yeah.
Just a little connection.
Okay, good.
Sorry, we're still on the opening credit. Marine and Dorne.
Okay.
Which we didn't hit Dorne. We didn't go to King's Landing. Right. We went to the Wall, Braavos, and Marine, though.
When did we go to Braavos?
Or didn't we go?
We didn't see...
Oh, I'm sorry. Valyria is where we went.
See, they didn't show that on...
We didn't see that on the map, so right. I don't know where Valyria is. I think they were saving that as a surprise.
Valyria was cool because it's supposed to be one of the most feared places.
Yeah.
In there, you know, in that little universe.
So those are the places we all went to.
From the way they describe it, it sounds like it was destroyed by a volcano.
Well,
or doom, they call it. Fire shot so far into the sky, and even dragons burned. The way he put it in that when they were in the boat talking to each other. It was like part of a poem or part of a book or something.
Yeah, I wrote down some of the poem here.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, we start finding out that much like we all assumed, I think, Grey Worm is alive.
Yeah. Barristan is dead.
So when he screamed out, it was more than just him not being unsullied. It was fear. He said he felt fear, and not of death, but that he would never see Missandei again.
Right. I really thought that they were going to say that he was going to say that when he started saying that I'm ashamed because I screamed
in pain. Yeah.
Like I thought, when you said you thought it was interesting that he screamed.
Yeah, I figured there had to be something to that it wasn't just a thing they just threw out there for no reason. Barristan the Bold died in an alley.
Yeah.
And then Khaleesi said, "Bring me the heads of the 7 great families." And then that douchebag guy whose name I refuse to learn, the whiny guy is what I call him.
But I'm the head of my.
But family. I'm the head of my. And then he's already being whisked away. Right. And then so she takes them to the dragons for a Mother's Day barbecue.
Okay.
Come on, it was on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She's mother of dragons. Okay, anyways.
She had to feed.
She killed.
Her children.
They got barbecued. Yeah, she feeds one, speaking about while she's speaking about never giving up on her children.
Yeah, speaking Valyrian, and while they rip the dude in half and eat him.
Question: when they did the changing of the language with Missandei and Grey Worm, was that real or was that just for our benefit? Sometimes I'm not sure.
I think it's just whatever they speak at this point because they kind of know both languages.
Well, but halfway through their language, I mean, they started talking with him on the bed, and it was all subtext or subtitles. And then she said something, and then it seemed like she said it again in English, and then they just switched to English.
Oh, well, see, then, like I said,
I'm not sure.
They're not just changing it; they're actually speaking the 2 different languages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not just.
I didn't know if they were doing that.
No.
Okay.
I don't think they do that on this show too much. If they're speaking the language, then they give us subtitles.
Yeah, I guess so.
If they're not, then they start speaking English. Because otherwise, what's the point of the subtitles? You know.
Well, so
I see what you mean. But anyway,
so she says she's not giving up on her children. The guy says Valar Morghulis, and oh, sorry, badass.
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't realize you had no fear, but the 2 dragons feast on one of the family heads, and it was badass.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they ripped him apart like a wishbone. It was one of the, in a show that has had eyeballs popped and heads and, squished, it was one of the more gruesome deaths.
I mean, seriously,
we just saw people skinned last week, and this was one of the more gruesome deaths.
He lit him on fire, bit his face off.
They both grabbed on him, split him in part.
Yeah, and then ate him.
He just exploded into... Yeah.
And then they ate him.
Like the meat sack we are, but don't think about.
Right.
We go to Sam at the wall with Aemon, who says... Is it Aemon or Aemon?
Aemon Targaryen, yeah.
I didn't think it was Jamaican.
Right.
Aemon. So Aemon,
whatever you want to call him.
Who says that Dany, who is his niece...
Basically.
He's related to her somehow.
I think he was the Mad King's brother.
Okay, he says that she has no family to guide her, protect her, her last relation thousands of miles away, useless and dying, talking about himself.
Right.
And then, I don't know if you caught this, but he literally says, a Targaryen alone in the world, and then Jon Starkarian walks in.
Right.
Like, it cuts right over to him. A Targaryen alone in the world. Whip pan to Jon walking in the room. You didn't catch that?
I remember now, but I didn't think of it like that. But dude, another one of my buddies that I talked to about the show, he was like, "Yeah, dude, they're gonna reveal Jon Stark's lineage."
Yeah.
He really thinks strong that they're gonna do it this season.
Oh, this season?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so he walks in, and then they aren't going to like Jon's decision. And I thought at the time it was going to be to leave with Stannis. Like, is that what they're going to be upset about?
No.
And then it turns out to be the Maester telling Jon to kill the boy and let the man live. Jon's risking a lot to make peace with the Night's Watch.
And the wildlings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he calls Tormund a coward and asks him to fight with him. Make peace to save your people. Get them south of the wall before the walkers come. And Jon has to go to make the announcement to the wildlings with him. That's the only way he'll do it.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So,
and
but
Jon's
I thought he was going the other way.
Let's go do it.
I thought he was, when he was saying they're not going to, the half of the people aren't going to like it, I thought he was talking about him being able to leave.
Right.
I thought for certain that was what it was
fight
gonna
for
be.
Winterfell, but he's taking his White Night's Watch vow seriously.
Yeah, so then we go to, they're having a meeting about the wildlings, and men, women, and children will die by the thousands if we do nothing. Let them die, we got our own to worry about. Less enemies for us. Now, I'm sure you didn't catch this, but...
I caught it.
You caught Stannis the grammar Nazi?
Yes.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Because I'm going to play this on here for people to hear, in case you didn't catch it, because it took me...
Me and Jenna looked at each other and laughed.
Yeah, I think I was writing notes the first time, but Stannis...
And children will die by the thousands if we do nothing.
Let them die. We got our own to worry about. Less enemies for us.
Fewer. What?
He says fewer.
Fewer.
He's correcting him from less enemies to fewer enemies.
Right.
They mention those who died in the battle, and then Jon says whatever they are, or wherever they are now.
Why do you think they threw them in there?
Just to show what kind of a guy he is.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a Stannis trait now. That's character development.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a grammar Nazi. Okay. I get it. I get him a little bit more.
Yeah. I see what I said, but that was awesome. It was cool. I
very subtle. It was good.
Real subtle, right? But the way the Onion Knight behind him.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
Yeah. Jon tells him we can learn to live with the wildlings, or we can add them to the army of the dead. If they go back north of the wall, there's going to be, they're just going to be killed and turned against
zombies, right?
Frozen zombies.
Frozen, right. What do we call them? The White Walking Dead?
Yeah, the White Walking Dead. Ollie thinks Jon is tricking the wildlings because of them killing his family. He's like, oh, yeah, surely this is a setup, right? Like, you're just luring them in. You don't really want us to make peace with them, right? Like, you're going to kill them all?
Right.
And he's like, no, we need them for winter. Ollie gets all, is there anything else you need, Lord Commander? And leaves, like all douchey.
Right.
Like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize we weren't friends anymore.
Right.
I don't know, I have, the thing is about the wall.
What thing?
The theory that we're going to discuss this week. It's up to you if we discuss it now or if we save it until we're done with this. We can save it, it's fine.
Well, go on. Let's finish talking about the episode first.
Pod and Brienne. Pod says...
Little scene there, okay.
Yeah, he says maybe she's safer here. And he's like, with the Boltons who murdered her brother and sister. In her Are You High voice.
Right.
Are you...
Are you stoned out of your mind?
She talks to an old guy who's been there for generations, and she tells him she wants to get a message to Sansa, and asks who he serves after saying who she serves.
After saying she serves cat, she served cat and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to see her call on people.
It's one of the North remembers.
Yeah,
kind of things.
It's
a little network of people.
What do you think the North remembers exactly? What do you think that they're meaning? It's obviously they remember her family, but do you think that they want her in charge?
Started when Ned Stark got his head cut off.
So they just mean like the way that it was with the Starks, or the Starks themselves?
The North remembers what you did to us.
Okay, so not how you guys were. It's more what was done against us.
Ned Stark to death, and North remembers that you put his family to death the earlier.
So they said the North remembers to her, not to let her know they had her back, but to let her know
basically,
it was just that. Okay, so it's used in that context.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a rallying cry.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, the North remembers.
I thought it was just like, we remember that this was yours.
All the fucked up shit that you Southerners have done to us. The Lannisters, the fucking.
But to Sansa, they mean it as
Targaryen, the Mad King, put Ned Stark's dad and brother, burned them alive in the fucking keep.
Yeah.
Why he laughed. You know?
So I think it has something to do with their reputation, too. The Starks' reputation, that they were good people.
They were good people. And Mm-hmm.
So Ramsay Bolton is still nailing...
There's a bigger meaning to the North remembers than just one specific thing.
Okay. Ramsay is still nailing Miranda, his former fiance.
Right.
And she's grilling him about Sansa. Women. Miranda says perhaps she will marry too. Oh, maybe I'll just marry somebody. He's like...
the Kennel's daughter.
Yeah, who the hell are you? Nobody.
The Kennel Master's daughter.
He threatens her by mentioning, you remember what happens to people who bore me.
Right.
Like, this is boring me. Do you want to bore me? He's officially taken over for Joffrey.
As douchebag of the show?
Well, he's somehow more likable than Joffrey.
No.
But worse. That's the worst part about it, is that he is likable. Joffrey made no intention to be likable. He didn't try at all. But this guy's, Ramsay comes off as likable. I don't know. There's something endearing about his personality. Whereas
the actor does a fantastic job at the role, but the dude is not likable. I disagree completely.
Just the way that he can put on a front as being likable in the show.
But it's such an obvious shitty front.
But to us, not to the person he might be talking to at any given moment. It might be somebody he's never met. Like when he met Sansa, he put on that charming, I'm a nice guy thing. That's what I mean. Whereas Joffrey was just like, fuck you, I'm entitled. Like the whole time. He just outwardly acted it. But this dude, so somehow this dude being even remotely likable in comparison to Joffrey frightens me, because he's done way worse shit than Joffrey did.
Yeah, he's done horrible shit, and he's not likable. No, sorry. I disagree.
No, that he can appear likable to people where Joffrey couldn't.
To me, it's so
Joffrey was pure evil. I know it is.
People that even he's talking to know it.
You think they know?
Yeah. Like his dad sitting there the whole time.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I don't know why I moved the microphone like that, but the whole time they're sitting there talking, the looks his dad was giving him were like, oh my God, you're the worst fucking person on earth. Even his dad, who was one of the worst people on earth.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So a lady comes and tells Sansa she's not alone.
Go ahead.
She comes and tells Sansa she's not alone.
This was the message.
Meaning Brienne, yeah. Light a candle in the highest window of the broken tower, the tower Bran fell from.
Right.
Miranda says she likes Sansa's outfit. She comes up to her and sidles up to her real quick. I thought she was gonna kill her or something crazy.
I was nervous during that scene, weren't you?
Yeah, I was thinking something bad is about to happen.
Seriously. And then leads her down the fucking.
Well, yeah, she tells Sansa there's something down at the end of the dog kennels, which I didn't. So
I thought she's gonna pull a lever or something.
Well, what did you think was down there?
I thought she was gonna let the rest of the fucking dogs out on her.
Okay. I thought at first.
That's what I thought.
I thought at first there was a dire wolf.
Was about to die for a second, dude. Like seriously.
She said something to the effect of "There's something down there for you." Yes, yeah. So I thought it was going to be a dire wolf. For some reason, I don't know why. I just assumed it was in a dog kennel, so I just assumed.
I never thought it was going to be anything good for Miranda.
I just assumed.
I thought Miranda was gonna like pull a lever and open.
Oh yeah,
all the dog
I felt
cages.
like something bad could happen, but then I started hearing like dogs barking, and I thought for a second, could it be a direwolf? That'd be a like get on her good side kind of thing.
Right. I never
obviously a
thought
ploy.
I never thought it was gonna be.
I didn't think it was gonna be Theon.
I didn't know that either. I didn't think it was gonna be him. I was wondering what was going on, but I thought she was gonna like let all the dogs out, and Sansa would have had to run in there and close the gate.
Yeah. Oh, and then be stuck
there or something like that.
Well, so he, as soon as she sees Theon, he shakes his head no and says she shouldn't be there, and she leaves all pissed off. Obviously, she's aware of his betrayal at the time and all that shit, right?
What is perceived as to be him killing her brothers, which we know that that's not what happened.
But that's it. I mean, besides, I'm not trying to diminish it,
and all the other shit.
But all the other stuff comes with it. If he says your brothers are alive, I didn't kill them, then you know what I mean.
He tells you that.
I think eventually. Eventually he gets he gets his redemption long term by killing Ramsay, and also by doing the right thing and reuniting Sansa with her brothers, or at least letting her know that they're alive.
So you think that he'll redeem himself during?
Yeah, but then he's dead.
He'll die during that.
Yeah. He'll get his redemption in the end. He won't be Reek. He'll die Theon Greyjoy.
Maybe he'll kill Bolton, Roose Bolton,
in front of Sansa or something, so she could slit her throat the way her mom died. Wasn't that him that cut her throat?
Who?
Roose?
No, just one of the.
He was one of the guys. He was the one that orchestrated
Robb Stark.
Okay, there you go.
The Lannister sends their regards.
Yeah,
and stabbed him in the chest.
Well, so Reek is helping Ramsay get dressed. He's now Reek again. He was Theon in the cage. He tells him Sansa saw him, and Ramsay takes his hand and forgives him, then smiles all weird.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry, it's just all so fake.
Yeah, I mean, you
does a great job.
You fucking fear that guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about him that's
fear that he could do anything at any moment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, seriously.
So he tries out his creepy style on Sansa.
Like that's what I'm saying is he finds out that when Reek tells him that they met, he knows who did this.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who set that little meeting up. Sansa seeing Theon.
Yeah.
He knows Miranda did that. And
yeah.
She's gonna die for that.
You think so?
Yeah. He's bored with her at this moment. She's gonna die for that.
Okay. I guess I can see. Oh, that was after the. Was that after?
Yeah, it was right after them having sex.
Oh, I forgot to put she bites. I forgot to say that she bites him. They smile and he dicks her in an implausible position. That was what I said. That's what I had written down for that part. Yeah. So let's see. So after that, Reek helping Ramsay get dressed, and he tells him Sansa saw him. She forgives him all weirdly, and then he tries out his creepy style on Sansa. He toasts to their wedding.
Yeah.
You know, and the mom asks if it's weird being in a strange place, and she's like, the people are strange, not the place.
This is home. This is my home.
Yeah, you guys are fucking weirdos. Yeah. She sees Reek in action being a servant, and he explains who Reek is, and apologizes. He makes him apologize for murdering her two brothers, which he thinks he did, or does he know that they're not dead?
No, he thinks he did it. Everybody, there's only one person that knew that, and he's dead too, I think.
So somebody else swapped them out?
Yeah.
It wasn't Theon?
It was the guys he was with from...
So somebody who's long since dead and didn't really play that major a role other than that one thing?
Exactly. It was the people that helped him take Winterfell. It was the guys from his homeland.
Okay.
He went home, and he got a ship full of a few guys that were like barely following him.
Vaguely.
And then took Winterfell, and they,
yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see. Hold on one second. What's up? Oh, that's them. Okay.
Okay, we're almost done.
Yeah. So Ramsay makes it all way more awkward after he makes him apologize.
Yeah.
And then he says Reek will give away the bride, just to try to like rub it into Sansa more. He's doing all the Joffrey techniques Again, but at least attempting to come off like it's not just like, fuck you, bitch, right off the bat. Like, he could just be open about it. That was Joffrey. It just, like, you see that fucking head on that spike up there? That could be you. You know what I mean? Ramsay's like, oh, you want some dinner? You know, by comparison. Right. Fake as fuck, but yeah. Then Roose keeps fucking with Ramsay because he does his best work when he's insecure and trying to prove himself to his dad.
Yeah.
Ramsay's,
that's when he's the best. So he makes him second guess it himself by telling him that his wife's pregnant.
Yeah, his wife's pregnant, so it'll be a real son, not a bastard. Like a legitimate son.
Did you hear that he gave him the story of his birth?
Yeah, that's coming up next. Let's see. Yeah, and no, because that was afterwards. Ramsay asked how he even knows she's pregnant because she's so fat.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you even find it? Like, it was seriously, dude. You're gonna fucking push it like that? You're barely Bolton.
Right.
Yeah. So he's his son until another option comes along, is what he's thinking, and he tells him that his mom was a peasant girl and he raped her while her husband hung above them, and then they nearly threw the baby in the river, but he saw it was his own. He saw it was his son and decided against it, was the impression I got. Or did they still put him in the river? I wasn't quite clear on that.
He wasn't going to throw him in the river, and he took him. Fucked up.
Oh, he took him?
Well, of course he did. He raised him as Ramsay Snow.
Oh, so he did raise him then. I didn't know that he had actually raised him. I thought that he found out, that was his dad. Okay. That makes more sense then. Mm-hmm. But what a fucked up... I mean, like, his dad was just as evil as he is, clearly. Mm-hmm. So it's not even his fault, you know? Right. He's just kind of...
But this was a man that followed Ned Stark. Roose Bolton.
Well, seemingly.
Yeah.
I bet he wasn't always...
He was always in the background as an evil fuck, basically.
Well, I thought it was interesting that he said Stannis has an army at Castle Black. He means to take the North, but the North is ours. It's yours and mine. Will you help me defeat him? And Ramsay's in from that point on.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck yeah, I can make you love me, Dad. I can be your son and get praise from you. Like, that's all I need.
Right.
Sam and Gilly talk about books, and she feels dumb. And he says the Citadel has the most
get
books.
Over it already.
Yeah, I mean, do you have to be insecure about it? You can't just take new knowledge?
Right.
Like, we get it.
When Sam's trying to show you something, just take it. Don't be a bitch about it. Jeez.
They train maesters there. Stannis comes in and tells Sam...
I had a real interesting thought about this, about Sam being a maester.
Okay.
He'd make a perfect maester.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much... Now that you say that, that's obvious. And he'll be there. Yeah, that'll happen. No question, because he's into reading and stuff, so that'll be him.
Studying all that shit. He'll be the new maester, yeah.
Good call. That'll definitely happen.
Yeah.
So Stannis comes in and says he knew Randall Tully, and says he defeated Robert Baratheon.
In the battle, in a certain battle. Yeah.
And he tells Stannis about Dragonglass.
That was an interesting connection they made. Yeah. I wondered if it ever was going to happen.
Yeah, we talked about that back at that time. Somebody's going to have to find out that information.
That Dragonglass kills White Walkers.
The fact that he said he killed one.
He just told it to one of the most important people that he could have told it to.
Yeah.
Was Stannis Baratheon. We have that at
which
Dragonstone.
Leads me to believe he's going to die.
Who?
Stannis, somehow. He has that information now. Like, I feel like if people have that information against the White Walkers, then it changes things a little bit. It definitely makes it a much fairer fight.
Well,
if people just if he gives out Dragonglass to everybody
now, he knows they need those ships now to be able to get back and get.
Yeah, because they have that where he's from, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
To Dragonstone, so he needs the ships back. The ships that Jon Snow borrowed for the wildlings.
So he tells Sam to keep reading on how to defeat the White Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually it'll be in there somewhere. Yeah, so Sam is decrypting all that shit. He's already the Maester.
He's going to be when Maester Aemon dies.
Yeah.
With an old man slowly freezing to death.
Yeah.
But once he's gone, then Sam will be the new Maester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stannis says it's time to the Onion Night, and they march at sunrise with the Queen and Princess. Jon and Stannis talk, and he wishes him a safe journey and thanks him, and they march out. There was a lot of people. I didn't realize how many were there. No wonder they were like, get the fuck out. A couple episodes ago, he's like, so look, dude, I get that you're the king, but like...
We can't have you here.
You can't, like...
this is built for cramped. 50 people.
You know how,
you guys,
when there's people sitting on your couch in your spot and that annoys the shit out of you and they're there for like multiple days, that's like really inconvenient. That's kind of what's going on a much larger scale.
Right.
There's thousands of you.
Right. Get gone.
Yeah, get out. Missandei and Grey Worm, and he says he failed Barristan and his men and his queen.
We discussed it already.
He said shame because he was afraid when he got stabbed and afraid he wouldn't see her, kisses him. Khaleesi and Missandei, talk about what to do about the unrest. And she tells her what she has seen, and it's basically her past with previous advisors and when she ignored them because there was a better choice, one that only you could see. Basically, Khaleesi knows best.
Right.
So just who gives a shit about what these people are telling you or who's around you? Just do what you think. That's why there are people that do that. That's why there are people that are leaders, because they have that ability to just do that.
To make a decision.
To make a decision and figure out what's right.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same advice Aemon gave Jon, really.
Grow up.
Yeah, just leaders have to follow what they think is right, you know? And yeah, she's just getting it from a different source. So she goes to see the whiny guy, and he whines, naturally, because that's what he does. He's a whiny guy. She says she was wrong, and he was right about tradition, and she agrees to open the fighting pits, but to free men only, basically.
No slaves.
And she says she'll marry a member of the ancient family to lock in her ties with Meereen, so that she's, forever linked with that place.
Right.
And then he's on his knees already begging and crying and stuff. He changed his tune from that makes lots of noise, by the way.
I know, I'm being an idiot. Sorry. I'm trying to drop. My cup is leaking all over.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's open wood. Go for it. Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
Sorry.
So she says, luckily there's already a suitor on his knees, and so she's gonna marry whiny guy.
Yeah, really, God. It's terrible. Yeah, it's awful. That's an awful.
And really, who's ready for another wedding?
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Another Game of Thrones wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something interesting always happens at those. Except the last one was pretty uneventful. Tommen's wedding. Tommen and Marjorie's wedding.
Yeah,
they shot right through that one.
Except they got married. That was eventful. That's an event. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's notable in this show.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to last much longer.
You don't think so?
Oh, dude, it's going to be in disarray by the end of the season.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So we get to...
they're going to put Sir Loras to death, and the Faith Militant's going to take Tom
he'll be dead.
Take Cersei's. Bad shit's going to happen. And King's Landing is just going to be on fire.
I could deal with that.
Mm-hmm, me too.
Yeah. We get to Tyrion and Jorah, and he says, long sullen silences and an occasional punch in the face. The Mormont way.
The Mormont way.
Tyrion apologizes and basically he wants wine. I am a person who drinks. That made me laugh. And then they're going through Valyria, which it says... This was something that I found about it today, and it was saying, despite living hundreds of years ago, they were far more advanced than the Seven Kingdoms in nearly every craft, including weaponry, which is why Valyrian steel is so rare and prized.
Right.
Their civilization was suddenly lost in a great mysterious cataclysm called the Doom of Valyria about 400 years ago, but men still fear to sail on the smoking sea, which is why Jorah has chosen this route for his valuable, easily pirated human cargo. A city of 1,000 years. They sort of bond going through Valyria. Mm-hmm. These two finally.
Right.
And then when Jorah was reacting to Drogon as a connection to Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Whereas Tyrion saw something real, like, holy shit!
Something
like,
brand
whoa! That's real.
The way he stood up on the boat was.
We got robbed out of a fucking monologue there. We got robbed by the stone people jumping immediately after. We got robbed out of a Tyrion. Imagine what he could have articulated about that, what he thought about those dragons.
That's what I wanted to hear was the discussion about them the dragon, right?
Yeah.
Glad on their part the dragon ignored them, or just was so high in the air it just didn't bother.
It didn't matter. Yeah, I can't bother with everything below it.
True.
So then they say the Doom still rules Valyria, and he says, how long until we build stuff like this again? They were the best until they weren't.
How many centuries until we can build cities like this again? And they were the best at nearly everything.
Yeah, it's weird that
they weren't.
Yeah, so it's like they didn't have any backup. It's like not backing up a hard drive, apparently. So, like, you have to start over if that hard drive gets wiped.
Right.
So that Valyria was a hard drive, and it was not backed up anywhere. They didn't share the knowledge with outside world because they wanted to be probably, the shit.
Yep.
And that ended up costing everybody. That ended up costing the world. And so potentially there could have been stuff like cars and who knows what. There could have been anything going in Valyria, and it could have just not left that place. You know what I mean? It's possible. And then for it to dawn back to... I don't know if I go as far as
to cars, but like...
Well, machinery of some sort,
like,
you think.
More, yeah.
They're talking it's really advanced. I would imagine there's some machinery involved in the Valyrian steel process. I don't know.
Well, there's a few...
Or no, because they just melted it down. That's right.
Yeah.
So they share a poem. They were just saying they were the best until they weren't. And, like, that's how it works, basically.
Right.
So you think that it might have been a volcano?
Well, the way he describes the fire exploding into the sky.
I mean, the way that... Oh, yeah, okay. If it's exploding into the sky, then yeah, I guess that would be...
Rain's not even hot enough to make dragons burn. This would be like lava.
Yeah.
And why else would the smoking sea be smoking? And this is an ancient time that would...
Okay, so it's just that it's an active volcano, basically.
Yeah, maybe they were around an active volcano.
I mean, maybe it's still active underneath there, and that's why it's still smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then the stone men jump on the boat, which is what I can't remember her name, Shireen, which is what Shireen had, but they stopped it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Don't let them touch you." And Tyrion jumps in the water, and one of the stone men drag him down. But then Jorah wakes him up on the sand and cuts him free, and he says neither got touched. And then Tyrion thanks him, and they're gonna make a fire, then walk in the morning. And then you see that Jorah got touched on his forearm.
Grayscale on his arm, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that mean?
Was the end of it.
Yeah, that was the end of the episode.
I think he's gonna die from that, or he's gonna become a stone man.
I don't think he's gonna become a stone man. I think he'll die. Sacrifice himself.
He's not gonna
in some way, or
he's not gonna get cured or have it stopped like
he's gonna
Shireen
sacrifice
did.
himself for Khaleesi in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
they never call her that.
They have to walk. They have to walk so far. There's no way he makes it anywhere in time to have it stopped. The only reason Shireen did was because Stannis was basically the king. In that regard. In their area, just like Ned Stark, the lord of the place, basically. Okay, so one other thing I thought of just long term would be, what if the dragons melt down the Iron Thrones and it just goes back to Seven Kingdoms?
Right.
At the end, game over.
No more
Game of Thrones.
No more somebody in charge of everything.
Literally just game over. And what if the White Walkers win and everyone dies?
These are the theories you're talking about?
No. Those are just random thoughts that I had on it. Okay, just random long-term, what if that happened?
Yeah, what if it happened? So what? Then it would be the end of it then.
Yeah.
Then all the characters that we've grown to know and love would be just dead, and then it would be over with. Mm-hmm. Okay. Didn't you say we had a theory or something to talk about?
I do have a theory to talk about.
Why don't we get into that?
Okay, we have the theory called the wall wasn't meant to keep the White Walkers out.
Okay.
What it is, full credit where credit is due, the theory came from Reddit user C_Forrester_Throne. Basically, he suggests that everything readers/show watchers have assumed about the battle between the White Walkers and humans, as well as the creation of the wall, is wrong. Instead, he theorizes that men and the others make a pact of peace after their first battle... Wait a minute. I got lost in reading that there, sorry. Instead he theorized that men and the others made a pact of peace after their first battle millennia prior, and it was the White Walkers who raised the wall. The theory continues that it was humans raging north of the wall that violated this pact, and that's why the others are coming south, the White Walkers. I don't know why they're calling them others here.
Okay.
This time winter is coming, it's going to be to wipe out humankind, based on the idea that a balance between ice and fire, A Song of Ice and Fire, is the name of the book series after all. Is what can keep the peace. He also believes that Daenerys and her dragons are villains in this story who will need to be defeated. And then it's, okay, why is it important? The most important element of this theory is that maybe Game of Thrones fans have been misreading the conflict between humans and the White Walkers this whole time. It would be a very Martin type of twist, especially if Daenerys is a rising chaos that needs to be put down. Are the White Walkers the good guys and everyone else major trouble? Even if this doesn't prove true, it does remind everyone one of Game of Thrones' most important lessons. We all know nothing. It just seemed like, okay, so could the White Walkers be, the heroes of the thing? And like...
I mean, what kind of... I get where he's coming from. It could be like the plague that wipes out humankind or whatever, because all they do is war and fight over things. Okay, but...
And that they put up the wall? What
guy would raise people from the dead and have an army of the dead?
Oh, because they have dead people with them kind of thing?
I can't see them being heroes because they have...
I don't think it would ever be pictured as heroes, but I think the twist, what they're saying is that the twist could be that maybe it was because of things that the humans did that they asked for this. Like the White Walkers put up the wall. That was what it was about, that the wall wasn't meant to keep the White Walkers out. It was meant to keep humans out.
Oh.
What do you think of that?
It's facing the wrong way then.
What do you mean?
All the defenses are set up on the backside.
Well, but the humans put that stuff on.
Yeah.
It could have the wall itself could have been constructed by the White Walkers, which would make a little bit more sense in the sense that, first of all, look how fucking far it goes.
Yeah.
And it almost seems like it would need a supernatural type force to be able to do that.
It's also
the
said
giants.
that there was help with the giants and the children.
Oh, the children helped too, potentially?
The magic of the children and the strength of the giants helped build the wall. It's just said that. That's another...
But why would they have helped? To keep the White Walkers out? Was that the implication?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So yeah, it's an interesting theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as the Jon Stark Arryn one. It can't be, but...
Well, it can't be, but that's a good
I don't think you could live up to that.
I just can't... I can't see it finishing like that.
I just thought it was a neat connection that somebody tried to put together.
Are gonna die and go and come and stuff like that. I get that. I understand that that's bound to happen, but I don't think wiping out everybody is a plausible end to the story.
Well, that was... Oh, you're meaning the humankind thing. Yeah, because that almost ties into what I had said before that. The two weren't related.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, one other thing. Snoop Dogg explained why he's so into Game of Thrones.
Why is that?
I watch it for historic reasons, to try to understand what this world was based on before I got here, Snoop said. I like to know how we got from there to here and the similarities between then and now. This is a real thing that was said. He said that about a TV show with dragons and frozen zombies. Like, I'm not kidding.
How to Watch TV is brought to you by Comeuppence Network. Check out our pre-show sessions on Tuesdays and full episodes on Wednesdays. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes for audio only if you feel like we have faces for radio. All social media links are at thishowtowatchtv.com. If you'd like to email questions, comments,
thishowtowatchtv@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
My broadcast radio voice.
Thanks for watching, because...
This is how to watch TV.
See you next week.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.